Morning, everyone. Welcome to the April 8th, 2025 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We are glad you're with us today, and for those watching online, we are glad you're with us as well. We will begin, as we always do, with an invocation. Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, please be with us as we try to make good decisions for our community. Please watch over all the residents of Henderson County as we deal with flooding and the potential consequences of that, and please bless our first responders as they help our people. Please watch over our men and women in uniform here and abroad. We say all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Magistrate Starks.
Here.
Magistrate Berry.
Here.
Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Putman.
Here.
And Magistrate Tompkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Gentlemen, you have in your packet the minutes of the March 25th, 2025 Fiscal Court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other corrections, clarifications, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Executive privilege here. I'd like to call up Kenny Garrett, our Emergency Management Coordinator. Kenny, if you'd come to the mic, please. We have a lot happening here in the next few hours and days, and I thought it'd be good for Kenny to address the court, including talking about the potential closing of US 60 East. So, Kenny, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, been a busy day and a half, really. It's actually been longer than that. So, I've got a few notes. I'll run over this with you real quick, and then if you have any questions, we'll do that too. Most of you know the Ohio River is set to crest on Saturday about 1 a.m. at 48.5. That is the fourth largest or highest crest in history. There's only two other crests in 1800s and the 1937 crest. So this one's a big one for us. FEMA is already on the ground. They're here. I'm meeting with them this morning. 60 is set to close as we speak. They're actually putting barricades up over 60 right now. So it'll be closed at the Spotsville Bridge on the west side, and then it'll also be closed at the county line. So right at, I think it's William Kearns Road, which is where the KET tower is. It'll be closed right there. So they'll be turning people around back into Davis County. All the semi-traffic from the paper mill over there, what's it called? Right, Kimberly-Clark, they're going to make sure they don't come west. They're going to turn them back to the east, and that way they don't end up having to back down 60 and cause a problem there. The command post is set up at Peters Road and US 60. They're just on the east side of the bridge. I have a USAR strike team from Maryland with two boats, a Swiftwater boat and a John boat, and their teams that are going to be at the command post to assist with evacuations, things along those lines, emergency rescues and things. Initially, we're planning on manning that command post 24/7 for the first probably 96 hours at least. And then once we get people out, there's a lot of people that have already left, one, because of spring break, and two, just because they know what's going on, and we're seeing a lot of people leave the area. So the stragglers that want to get out, once the water gets up, and it's rising fast, so there's going to be some swift water involved. Once they call in and realize that, hey, we need help, we'll have enough people out there to help them get out. We've got shelters opened up at the Salvation Army that'll be open up all night. We've got a Red Cross shelter set up at the Gathering Place. That'll be going into operation today. And then we've got two sites for sandbagging, one at the fairgrounds, and then one at the end of Borex Drive. So out by the detention center, they're still filling out there. They've been going since Wednesday. I think they took a break on Sunday, but they're back at it. We've got a third site that we're setting up at the storage facility, which is If you get to the Spotsville Bridge from the Henderson side, you'll make a left on 1078. There's a set of storage buildings there, and there'll be a sandbagging site set up there with sandbags and sand. I believe Nick's already got that taken care of. We need to remind everybody to follow us on our Facebook page, Henderson Emergency Management, where we are posting daily all the updates that we have to try to get that information out to the community. So we're trying to keep that really rolling and keep everybody informed as much as possible. I'll take your questions.
Kenny, we got plenty of cots at the Salvation Army gathering place.
During the ice storm that we had back in January and that series of weather that happened after that, I pulled all the cots that we had in storage, which is about 100 cots, and I distributed those to the volunteer fire departments and the hospital and 911 and different ones. So they're out there. If we need to pull them back, we can. Now the Red Cross is coming in. They're going to supply cots and blankets and all that stuff for theirs. The Salvation Army has 36 cots, I believe it is.
We had 29, I believe, over there Friday. I
Right.
think, yeah.
So there's cots and blankets, as you know, over there already. So if we need more, I mean, we're not the only ones that have the issue going on, but there are a number of cots that are down in Princeton. If we needed to go get more, we could.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody else?
So if people choose to stay
Yes.
and then they decide later, at a later time, they don't want to be there,
Mhm.
it's our responsibility to go get them?
It's a one-way trip, though. So if they call 911, we'll go
It's putting
get
lives
them.
in danger because they chose not to come out.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
It's putting our people's lives in danger if they choose not to come out and then
Yes, sir. That's part of it, though. I mean, we realize that, and we can't, I believe the sheriff's in the back of the room, we can't compel them to leave. So, I mean, we can make an order that says mandatory evacuation, but that has to have some teeth to it, and someone has to enforce that. That would be the sheriff's office, and I don't know if the sheriff wants to come up and address that or not, but.
me and him had a little bit of this conversation last
Okay,
night.
yeah, I've had that conversation with him a number of times myself. They can't compel them, they can't go in and force them out. We'll go get them if they call 911, but it's a one-way trip, so we'll go get them, but we won't take them back until this thing's over with, and they can go back in on their own.
So if we do go get them, it's not a choice then. At that point, they got to get in the boat and come out.
If they call us to come and get them,
They're coming
then
out.
they're going with us, yes.
Okay.
And unless they come back and say, no, we're not going to go, then I guess we'll turn around and go get somebody else. But, I mean, they called for us to come and get them. That's the intent, so.
I think some folks who've been through this before remember some looting that went on after they left their homes. The last time this required evacuations, and a little more reticent to leave their houses. But this is going to be really high water. I think they're
Well,
gonna-
it's that and the fact that we're going to have a presence there this time that we didn't have, as far as I remember, in '97. It's been almost 30 years ago, but I was there. We have the National Guard on the ground. So they will be at the checkpoints, both sides, with that military presence. So that in itself is a deterrence anyway. And I believe the sheriff's office is actually going to have patrols out there as well to be able to put people, visibility, which will help.
Any other questions of Kenny? We've got to let him go.
Well, yeah, real quick, I know we talked over the weekend when you had the meeting with the emergency managers and the fire departments. If they are called out, it needs to be during the day, unless it's a dire emergency.
Right. We would request if they just want to be transported out. I mean, I realize the levels get up and you start to panic, and we get that. I think we felt that at noon yesterday when they upped us from 46 to 48. So I felt that level of, oh my gosh, So yes, if it's an emergency after dark, I mean, we've got to go get them if they call. But we would assume, we would want them to do it during the day when it's a little easier, but it's dangerous either way when you can start dealing with swift water and people in boats and stuff.
Kenny, are we bringing out the pets as well?
It's a good question. Don't know where to put them. I know that New Hope is full.
Full? Yep.
Our
Ours is full.
hang on, sorry. I'm not sure about the, about Animal Control Humane Society and see what their status is, but that's a lot of pets. So, yeah, I'm not sure what we would do with them once we got them in. Yeah.
People normally get their pets out before they go. So we really never had a problem with pets.
Yeah.
I mean, because usually they were already gone. They'd send the pets to town or with a family member, I mean, and they'd stay, but they'll take care of the pet first. We really never had a problem with that.
And I feel like we've done a pretty good job leading into this already with all of the messaging that we've done prior to yesterday, when this thing really kind of got serious on us. Seen a lot of people leave the area, and hopefully they're taken. We already have people that have called in and said, hey, I'm in Audubon Park, I'm at a cottage, you know, this is where I'm at, this is where I lived. So I think we're going to see maybe less of the evacuations, I hope, because people have already taken that precaution and left the area.
But if I understood you, this is just going to keep getting higher and higher and higher.
It's going to get to 40, they say it's going to get to
47,
48 and a half on Saturday morning at 1 a.m. That's what the forecast says. But it's going to hover, and it's going to raise ever so much higher, and they don't know, the National Weather Service, they don't know, and we don't know if it's going to stop at 48.7 or go to 49. We just don't know that. So we're planning for that to be even higher than what it's
You know, my
forecast.
concern with the pets, you know, some people maybe stand because they have pets.
Yeah.
And we, you know, if we tell them, look, we don't.
Well, we've seen that, and I mean, we had call just this past event where a lady she had pets, but yet she found a deer in her yard, and she actually took the deer in and took a wild deer into her home.
Wow.
And nourished the wild deer. Now, okay, that's a dedicated person that loves pets.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Ken.
Yes, sir.
We really appreciate the work you've put in over the last week. I know it's been some long nights with you and Jill and everybody else trying to help with us. We truly appreciate it, and I know you've got work to do. And Chip Stauffer would like to say
Okay,
something.
thank you, guys.
I just want to follow up on him. I've reached out to Sheriff Youngman of Davis County last night because I knew that 60 was going to be an issue, so they've agreed, at least in conversation, to assist us with any issues that we may have in a criminal nature on their eastern part of our county, because for us to get to it, because they're worried about Sargo, Stanley area flooding. So if that floods and they shut down the off-ramp on the Audubon, that means we're going all the way into the bypass and hitting 60 and coming 25 miles west. So just to let you know that those conversations have been had as far as law enforcement's on the Reed side of flooding.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Kenny. Okay, back to normal order here. We have a proclamation for Child Abuse Month, Awareness Month. And Samantha Sigler, you just walked in, I saw. You want to come up and brief us a little bit before we read this proclamation?
Thank you all again for taking the time out of your busy schedule, especially with the flooding. This is unprecedented, even though I was alive in '97. I remember flooding. But thank you for taking the time this morning to bring recognition to Child Abuse Prevention Month. So we know that all children deserve a safe and happy childhood, and sadly we know that many do not, especially here in Henderson County. And so you know, it's very important for us to maintain that awareness, not just through the month of April, but all through the year. But the Children's Advocacy Center, you know, appreciates the time and the efforts that you all take to support our children and those of us who work in child maltreatment. You know, when I first started, I've been here almost going on 8 years, I guess, and at one point, Kentucky was #1 in the nation. And we are now, according to the most recent child maltreatment report, we are 4th. So we are 4th in the nation, and that is still double the national average. So we have lots of work to still be done. And we know that without the support of our communities, that we will not be able to do it alone, because it does take a village. So before you all leave, we did bring some bags to you guys, just with some Child Abuse Prevention Month materials in it, just to let you know that, of course, all children deserve a safe and childhood. And there's stress balls, because we can't stress enough the importance of child abuse awareness in our community, and that it takes a village. So if you see something, say something. So there's reporting cards in there that give you the phone numbers. And in the state of Kentucky, we're all mandated reporters, so it shouldn't hurt to be a child. And so we have little things that go in the fridge for boo-boos. And so just as reminders throughout the month of April and throughout the year that our children deserve our protection. Thank you.
Would you mind introducing your guests?
Absolutely. All right, this is my office manager, Annette. This is Olivia. She's our new MEP coordinator. Julie is MEP assistant and victim advocate assistant. Kelsey Townsend, she's got a lot of titles here. She is a jack of all trades. So Kelsey is our victim advocate, as well as our MDT coordinator and our medical unit coordinator. And then Allie, she's victim advocate. She serves Henderson County. And this is Jenna, our USI MSW intern. And then we also have our partners. We have DCBS and back here, so I don't want to miss them. And of course, Chip, and everyone. Chip's on our board. We appreciate all of his support. But again, thank you so much.
Can I ask something, like the training for a volunteer? How long does that take?
You mean for CASA volunteers,
Yeah,
you mean? Okay, so we're not CASA.
No, I know it, but
yeah,
I was just-
But it is, and I'm not sure what they're, because now they've been
Okay.
not an umbrella under us for 5 years. But it's usually,
I know it's not relative right at
Yeah,
this
I was-
point, but it just popped in.
Yeah, so I know, though, that in Henderson County, we are at a deficit for CASA volunteers. We were whenever it was an umbrella program of the CAC. And it is a extensive training that you get, the training that you need and are required, but it's not an overly, it's not 2 months of training or something that's not doable. Like I said, I don't know what their training requirements are now. I'm so sorry, I don't know the answer to that. And Amy Hawk, if she was here with CASA, she could answer that better than myself.
I got you.
But I can get you the information and put you in touch with the individual
Well,
who
I'm
handles
always
that.
getting stuff, but it kind of leaves out, I think, some of the important stuff.
Well, then I can make sure I note that to them, that like, hey, what's my commitment here for training? What am I asking for? I do know that besides the training that you're committed, it was committed to at least, spend, I think it was like 3 hours a month with your CASA
Yeah.
child, and then on top of that, writing reports for the court, so that they can have, your opinion and reflections, and to be that voice for the child. in
We
family court.
appreciate them, and we appreciate all that you guys do.
Thank you.
Judge, while they're here, I just want to thank Samantha and her whole team and the folks from DCBS for everything they do to partner with our office to try to help keep these kids safe. You all do a wonderful job, and the forensic interviews that you do for sexually abused and children, we would not be able to prosecute those cases without those types of interviews nearly as well as we can with them. And all the other ways that you help us and assist us. Thank you for that, and thank you to DCBS folks as well. It really, Kentucky being a mandatory reporting state, that is one of the reasons that our numbers are higher, and we're always up those rankings. But it's good that we're a mandatory reporting state, and it's good that when it's reported in Henderson, something really happens. There are real investigations, and the whole team, law enforcement, prosecution, all the different agencies come together to try to get the services that child needs, and you all are a huge part of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The multidisciplinary team approach is critical in that investigations and prosecution and the treatment of child abuse cases, and so we are grateful to your office for all that they do to partner with us.
And I will say we are still, there's, to give the court an idea, you mentioned multidisciplinary team, and I will get on my soapbox about that. There's a meeting that occurs once a month by statute where all the stakeholders come together and talk about cases and where they stand in the pipeline, particularly the child sexual cases. And the There are a lot of different agencies supposed to be there. Some have better attendance than others, so.
Hey, our
this is
last
my-
meeting was the best
It
attended.
was well attended, and that's
Yes,
good.
so-
I just think that it's really important for every agency involved to make sure that they do make that, because that approach is such a key to making that happen.
Thank you. So we have a proclamation to read.
Yes.
And I'll enjoy doing the honors here. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem in our society, affecting every segment of Henderson County, and whereas our children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of Henderson County and Commonwealth of Kentucky. And whereas child abuse is considered one of our nation's most serious public health problems, with scientific studies documenting the link between the abuse and neglect of children and a wide range of medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral disorders. And whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse, every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, or physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe and nurturing childhood. And whereas effective childhood abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created between social service agencies, schools, health, community, and faith-based organizations, law enforcement agencies, businesses, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families, because prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, by the virtue of authority vested in me as County Judge Executive of the County of Henderson, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse and Neglect and Prevention Month in Henderson County, and encourage all citizens to join me in protecting Henderson County's children by providing them a safe environment free from physical, sexual, and emotional abuse and neglect. Thank you for all the work. And thank you all for being here today and for everything you do, too. Appreciate it. Moving on, we have a opening a bid recommendation for the Sandy Lee Watkins Park bathroom project. I'll ask Nick Stallings to come up and present those.
All right, last court, I opened the bids for the bathrooms out at the Sandy Lee Watkins Park. There were two bidders, Arc Construction and Danco. Danco was the low bid. They were $264,000. Everything checked out with them and their requirements, their bonds, their all their people, their employees, all their subs, everything checked out. Their references, so we're going to go ahead and go with them for the bathrooms. We're supposed to have a meeting on Thursday. If you all, if you're okay with choosing them, or vote me choosing them.
So I need a
Make a motion to approve the second.
Judge, if I may ask, can that be subject to contract review, because some of the things in the typical American Institute of Architects contract are things that we need tweaked a little bit.
You want to amend a motion to that effect?
Yes, sir.
A second? We have a motion and a second to accept the bid contingent on some language being hammered out in the contract. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. You also have somebody to hire.
Yes, we have a truck driver, Jesus Martinez. He is he's coming to our area as long as you all vote to bring him in. He's a truck driver. Starting pay is $21.15, which is normal for truck drivers. He's got experience, got a CDL, knows driven trucks. He's a younger fella, which is always good for the road department.
Motion to approve that hiring at that.
So
pay
moved.
scale.
Second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Gentlemen, also in your packets, we have the memorandum of understanding with United Way to help oversee our vetting process for nonprofits applying for county grants. Same contribution or payment for this contract as last year, $7,500. And for those of you who are involved in the vetting process, I think we can agree United Way's done a good job of helping arrange all these things and providing application formats. And so any questions about the memorandum? And a motion to execute the memorandum?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I did.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, we're going to go into what I think is going to be a short executive session meeting, and this is from KRS 61.810G, discussions of a public agency and representative business entity and discussions concerning a specific proposal if open discussions would jeopardize the siding, retention, expansion, or upgrading of the business. And get a motion to go in executive session.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're going to meet in the back room, and we'll be out shortly.
Judge, I make a motion, we go back in regular session.
We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks for your patience. You have the county coroner's report in your packet, and Sheila Patterson is here. Anything you'd like to add?
Morning.
Good morning.
All right. I take it you all have a copy of this report already in your stuff. As you can see, I'm generally the one who's the most busy of the group. And I have more cases than the rest of them, but that's okay. We have had a total of, let's see, 31 deaths for the month, or for the year to date. We have one that is a pending undetermined at this point. We've had 2 gunshot wounds, one a suicide, one a homicide. I do have one position that is vacant. I had a resignation last week, so I'm looking to fill that. We also have 16 cremations that we have signed for that are within the 31 that we have worked ourselves, but then we have 40 other cremations that we have signed for over and above that are not corner calls. Any questions about any of the information on this report?
Have any candidates for that position yet?
I have one I have talked to, and they're supposed to get back to me.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm still looking.
Okay, good deal. Any other questions of Sheila? Thanks for your hard work.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You also have in your packet the Detention Center Quarterly Report, and Jailer Todd's with us to add any comments.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You have my report before you. We are currently still good on staffing. We're just like 2 under for males and a couple under for females, but
That's good.
yep, that's good and doing well. We have 539 total inmates today, so still increasing with 219 as of yesterday federal inmates. So,
That's a good job.
we keep pressing along. We're filling sandbags, I guess y'all know.
Yeah, appreciate that too.
Yeah. Females are out there. We got 10 females out today. Filling bags, and I've got some requests this morning.
Good deal.
People wanting bags.
Any other questions?
County? I can tell you that, sir. If I turn my paper right side up, 127, so we're kind of, we've dropped a little. It's around 147 something. Yeah, we're in good shape. That's what we are, county jail.
Has the state implemented the trash pickup thing again?
We have 5 females that work for the State Department. They report with a deputy every morning, and we just perform work what they need done. I have requested that they go to Stratman Road, pick up the
Bad
trash,
out there.
and we still got. I guess they hadn't been out that way. Is that a state road or a county road?
Which,
The road that you wanted done? I think they've been out that way, but
I think they got it.
yeah, I think they did too. Because I'll just send in a request and tell them if it's possible if you could go this road here to pick up trash or.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it is. I know.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it out of the field.
We'll probably be picking up. They'll probably be picking up tree limbs and they clean drains. They just whatever county state needs to be done, we'll do it.
Any other questions of Bruce? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd.
Mr. Gold.
Judge, I've only got 2 checks today. The first is interest check, $71.92, and a reimbursement from the state, $3,783.19, bringing today's total to $3,855.11. and the fiscal year total to date, $211,047.71.
Thank you. I'd like a motion, just to make sure I do this right, a motion to both accept the detention center quarterly report and the county attorney payments, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Here's a bit of good news. I'm going to ask Treasurer Ryder to come up for a budget amendment. In our package of incentives for Riverview Coal and the Henderson Mine, we included a grant for $1 million on the day that they began operations, full operations. They have scheduled tentatively a ribbon cutting at the mine on June 14, I believe, which is terrific. They are on schedule with their building site, and at that ostensibly is the day when we would go ahead and allocate their grant money in order to make sure it's there for us to offer to them. We need to amend it into the budget. So we're going to have an amendment here, a first reading. Treasurer Ryder.
This is the first reading of Budget Amendment Number 6 for the current fiscal year. The total of this amendment is $1 million. Amending into the budget prior year surplus funds of the general fund of $1 million with corresponding expenditures of the general fund contingency appropriations for $1 million. This is to later be transferred to the Economic Development Fund for disbursement, and as the judge previously mentioned, is necessary for the county's incentive obligation to Riverview Coal, LLC, as approved at the December 6, 2022 meeting.
It's hard to believe that's been 2 years ago plus.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And with your transfers now? Yeah.
You have received some transfers, and these are as presented. This is redistributing appropriations within the existing budget.
Any questions on transfers?
Make a motion to accept transfers.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I do have claims from the general fund to Magistrate Starks, $674.20, to Magistrate Tompkins, $674.20. This is for training expenses and is to come from the Fiscal Court's conference training appropriation line. From the road fund to Palmer's Trucks, $4,020.56. This is for parts and labor and is to come from the maintenance, repairs, and equipment appropriation line. From the jail fund to Advanced Document Solutions, $821.70. This is for copier charges and is to come from the data processing equipment appropriation line. To Foresights LLC, $2,758. This is for the first payment of the monthly solar panel service agreement and is to come from the utilities appropriation line. To U.S. Bank, which is the credit card, $1,376.49. The majority of this is to come from the office supplies appropriation line.
Move to pay the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience have anything for good of the county? Hearing none, we do have an executive session to go into. If anybody individually would like to say anything for good of the county, you can certainly do that now, and then we'll go into executive session. I'm not going to call out the batting order. Just feel free to chime in.
I'll just start real quick and just say again a big thanks to all of our first responders, our road people that are out there helping with this extreme high water event. Our slogan in Henderson is "On the river but never in it." Well, we will have parts of Henderson County at least in the drink, and part of it's from the Green River too, because they've had, I think, even a dam failure on the Rough River that's going to make this even more of a concern. So be safe, and appreciate again what's already been said by our judge and others. Our first responders putting it on the line again for us out there. Just thank you to all those folks. TriFest, at least we've got some positive things to look forward to pretty soon, so get out and enjoy that. Enjoy this spring break week. And I just wanted to commend the judge and everyone involved with the opening of the sports park last week. I think it was a fantastic event. It is going to mean a lot to our youth. And and it was just good to see you out running the bases, Judge. And
I didn't run the bases.
oh, no, that's right. You did have a designated, yeah, but still, it was really a great show of community support, just both city, county, and that's some good news in a world of some not so good news right these days. And again, appreciate you folks and everything that you do for our children at the Child Advocacy Center, as always. Thank you.
Anybody else? Feel free.
I want to know what he said.
Okay. With
I make a
that,
motion, we go into executive session.
let me read the,
Okay,
just
sir.
for the record, entertain a motion going into executive session for KRS 61.810C, discussions of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the public agency.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're going to go into executive session. We do not anticipate a vote coming out of this. I don't believe so. And then we'll come in and adjourn. So we're glad you're with us today. You don't have to hang around for this, but we appreciate you being here. Motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adjourn. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor can leave. Thank you all.